poet, feminist, anarchist, organizer. Lucía Sánchez Saornil is one of the co-founders of the group Mujeres Libres. This organization was very important to the left-wing side of the Spanish Civil War that supported the democratically elected Republican government. Mujeres Libres was a group of women who were feminists and anarchists. Lucía Sánchez Saornil was an activist and a writer of poetry. The other co-founders of Mujeres Libres were Mercedes Coma Posada and Amparo Pochigascon. Coma Posada worked mainly as an educator and a lawyer. Pochigascon was a medical doctor. Together, these women helped bring attention to the situation in Spain during the early to mid-20th century. Their work made progress for gender equality and the development of anarchist philosophy. Lucía Sánchez Saornil was born into poverty in Madrid in 1895, where she was raised by her father. She became interested in writing and creating poetry from a young age and was mostly self-taught. Later, she was accepted into the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in San Fernando, Madrid. By her early 20s, she had already published her writing in multiple journals. Because of the times, she had to publish her writing under a male pen name. Many female authors from around the world had done this before her time. However, for Lucía Sánchez Saornil, her male pseudonym also allowed her to write romantic poems about relationships with women. In early 20th century Spain, she could have faced censorship or even jail time for writing about her lesbian relationships. In the early 1930s, before the Spanish Civil War, Lucía Sánchez Saornil was working as a phone operator for a big company called Telefónica. It was during this time when she participated in her first union strike, which was organized by the CNT, or the Confederación Nacional del Trabajo. Soon, she would become an official member with the position of writing secretary, where she was responsible for editing the CNT's journal. As an anarchist militant and poet, Sánchez Saornil continued her affiliation with the CNT during the early days of the Spanish Civil War, which officially began with the coup d'etat attempt in 1936. Although the CNT was a left-wing group, supposedly based on values of progress and supporting a Spanish democracy, the CNT was not free of sexism. According to the historian Caroline Angus, the anarchist movement praised equal rights, but it seemed as all talk and no action, with men who claimed to be anarchists still sexist in the home. Women still were forced into marriage, and single women required a chaperone in public. Women still received half the income of men. The working class women were not receiving any benefits promised by the Second Spanish Republic. Based on her personal experience and seeing how other women were being treated in the CNT and other Republican circles, Sánchez Saornil was inspired to start a women's group. Thus, Mujeres Libres was created in 1935 as its own distinct political group, with the mission of women's liberation within the greater struggle for democracy. Mujeres Libres accomplished a lot in less than 5 years. They organized spaces for women to thrive and improve their status in life. They created schools where women could receive quality education. They organized women-only events where women could socialize safely without fear of sexism or violence interfering with their freedom. They wrote, edited, and published a women-only newspaper. All this effort helped counterbalance centuries of gender oppression and unfair opportunities. The power of education, literacy, and simply feeling free. This is all political. Although the group dissolved in 1939 when the Republic lost the war, at its height, Mujeres Libres had about 30,000 members. Furthermore, the battle for women's rights did not end with the Spanish Civil War. Lucía Sánchez Saornil was not only known within Spain, for creating the women's organization Mujeres Libres. Her contributions to anarchist theory and her active fight against the rise of fascism in her home country earned her international attention. One example of this is the fact that she got the attention of the internationally well-known anarchist Emma Goldman. Born in Russia, in an area that is now Lithuania, Goldman became famous, or infamous to some, for her political activism and philosophy writing while she was living in the United States. Goldman read the work of Lucía Sánchez Saornil, and the two women got into contact, eventually met, and remained in touch. This illustrates how Sánchez Saornil's writing was an effective way to bring international attention and support to the conflict happening within Spain. Her writing was able to raise awareness about the Spanish Civil War for like-minded people around the world. It is also an example of effective solidarity and political organizing between women from different countries and cultures. Just to give a small taste of her poetry, here is Himno de Mujeres Libres, or Free Women's Hymn, by Lucía Sánchez Saornil. Puño en alto, mujeres del mundo, hacia horizontes preñados de luz, por rutas ardientes, los pies en la tierra, la frente en lo azul. Afirmando promesas de vida, desafiemos la tradición, modelemos la arcilla caliente de un mundo nacido del dolor. Que el pasado se hunda en la nada, que nos importa el ayer. Queremos escribir de nuevo la palabra mujer. Adelante, mujeres del mundo, con el puño elevado al azul. Por rutas ardientes, adelante, de cara a la luz. Studying the life and poetry of Lucía Sánchez Saornil is not only a great way to get a glimpse into Spanish history during a time of conflict. Her contributions to both literature and political organizing can teach lessons about progress for women's rights, LGBT+ rights, and international anti-fascist philosophies. If you are a reader of the Spanish language, I highly recommend checking out her poetry. You can find a lot of it for free online. Her writing is simple, yet powerful. That's what makes it so beautiful. This was a short video as an introduction to her life and work, so I will leave links to my sources down in the description where you can read and learn more. Thank you for listening.